It's Polar Bear Week, and Polar Bears International is working hard to protect the animals and their habitat, including the Arctic sea ice. This is also the time of year when the polar bears gather along the Hudson Bay near Churchill. Joining us now to tell us more is Alyssa McCall, a staff scientist and the Director of Conservation Outreach with Polar Bears International. Good morning, Alyssa.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for joining us. Now, you're joining us from the EV Tundra buggy near Churchill. Tell us why this time of year is significant for polar bears gathering in Churchill right now. What are they up to?
Right. These polar bears have been on land all summer. They're hungry. They're waiting for the sea ice to refreeze on Hudson Bay so they can get out there and go hunt seals again. But until then, they're kind of bored and they're hanging out and they're gathering right around us, and we're live streaming the bears every day.
Well, that is pretty cool. Have you noticed any intriguing activity they've been up to lately?
Well, the temperatures are dropping, so they get a little bit more active. So yesterday we saw a lot of sparring, so play fighting between the adult males, and we expect to see more today.
That's fun to watch, I'm sure, live, right?
Yes, exactly. Everything's live. You're seeing it while we're seeing it.
Okay, so this year's theme for Polar Bear Week is coexistence. What is the significance of that?
Right. So polar bears are spending more time on land and more places. So we want to support the people living with polar bears and keep polar bears in the wild. So coexistence is really about awareness of climate change. It's about innovative strategies, community collaboration, and just securing a better future for polar bears and people.
And are you seeing, what are they really active right now? They're hanging out. They have their little ones too, right? So you want to make sure to protect the little ones and protect people.
Exactly. So we have seen moms and cubs in this area. They're the most vulnerable polar bears in the population. And we know here in Churchill that these females are having a harder time getting pregnant and having babies. So it's even more important that we're working to protect their future.
How was the summer for them this year?
It was pretty good. They came off the ice around mid-June, sometime in July. So they've, been on land for months right now, and they're really ready for that sea ice to freeze again. So we'll see. We have a tiny little bit of ice along the coast right now, but it's not enough for a polar bear to get out there. But we're hopeful that soon that they'll get out and be able to hunt again.
Okay, so you also have infrastructure in place that'll help us coexist with the polar bears. Tell us what that is.
Yeah, so Polar Bears International is working on a few things. We've got a BearDar unit, an AI radar unit up in Eureka, Nunavut that's monitoring polar bears coming and going day and night. In Churchill, we're working on better waste management strategies, providing bear-resistant bins, and we're also working on different strategies, different tools for polar bears. So for example, is there any smells they don't like? We're looking at citronella, skunk, unique ways to kind of keep polar bears away from people. So we're really committed to some innovative ideas.
And how do you teach the humans in the community to stay away from them as well?
Well, that's really the biggest thing. It's the human management. So education is a huge thing. That's part of why we're out here right now in the EV Tundra Buggy 1. So thanks to Frontiers North Adventures and Noble Northern that helped us build this from the ground up. It allows us this mobile kind of education studio to roam around, look at polar bears, and then talk about them and the importance of staying safe with polar bears and how we can all help them exist well into the future and keep ourselves safe too.
And we are learning more and more about the impact polar bears are having on the larger ecosystem, as their food is often ravaged by some of the other creatures in their environment. It's very important to keep them going, so to protect the whole ecosystem, isn't it?
Exactly. Yes, they're considered a keystone species or an umbrella species. So when we talk about protecting the polar bear, it's really not all about the polar bear. It's about the sea ice ecosystem and all the animals that depend on this ecosystem. And you're right, there was a recent paper that polar bears, when they pull the seals and this food up under the ocean onto the sea ice, they're feeding all these other animals. So they really are such a critical part of the ecosystem and the world. We want to keep them around for a long time.
Well, here in these parts, Churchill seems far away. Living with polar bears seems far away, but there are things we could do here to help them and support them, right? What are those?
Absolutely, a lot of things. So number one is talk about it. If you like polar bears or you just like anything about nature or environment, talk to your family, friends, and colleagues. People protect what they love. So talk about what you love. Of course, this week too, check out polarbearsinternational.org for more information about Polar Bear Week and the cool stuff we're doing. And explore.org is where you can watch all these different live cams across the tundra and see what's going on up here in Churchill, Manitoba.
So fun indeed. Good watching. Thank you so much, Alyssa, for sharing this with us.
Thanks so much for having us.